undertakings aimed at propelling due process towards bringing former President Jammeh and his accomplices to justice is at a very advanced stage as local victims and human rights defenders meet for another important meeting. In attendance this time is Reed Brody, that's an attorney with many credentials to his name. The man who successfully prosecuted former Chadian dictator Hissan Habre has been engaged to bring former President Jammeh and his associates to justice.
There is no type of torture that I haven't encountered.
Today I stand here because, and let me say this very loud and clear, we want answers and we want justice, and we will not give up until those who are responsible are held accountable.
Their stories are incredibly telling and heartrending.
All we want as victims and survivors of victims, all we want is justice.
The pain and loss lingers. The memory is inexplicable.
My condition was so terrible. I cannot even be able to sit on a wheelchair.
A follow-up to previous meetings convened to organize and prepare undertakings towards eventual prosecution. This assembly signifies the current case being built against Yahya Jammeh and his accomplices.
At the launch of the campaign to bring Yahya Jammeh and his accomplices to justice,
several resolutions have been certified in a communique imagined to mark the outcome of a closed-door session which opened the day's activities.
We are committed to attain our ultimate goal, which is to ensure that Yahya Jammeh, as well as those who bear the greatest responsibility in the crimes of his government, are brought to trial with all due process guarantees.
A vast number of civil rights organizations around the world are strongly backing the resolution, whose demands include a strong call to the government of Equatorial Guinea to extradite the former Gambian leader and more steps by the Gambia government to prosecute Yahya Jammeh.
I was asked to dig a grave, which I did. And at the end, I was buried in that grave up to my chest.
For someone who has seen the full breadth of Jammeh's brutality, having experienced a near-death circumstance, Imam Baba Lee's story reincarnates the vicious cycle of state-sanctioned oppression that was norm under Jammeh. Yet how is Jammeh thriving in exile?
Equatorial Guinea is a crime syndicate. Equatorial Guinea is not a nation.
Tutu Alicante, an activist from Equatorial Guinea, explains the circumstances of the former president's life.
Unfortunately, I have to tell you that Yahya Jammeh is, in fact, in a 7-star hotel. Yahya Jammeh is enjoying a luxurious life in one of the opulent palaces, one of 17 opulent palaces that President Teodoro Obiang owns throughout Equatorial Guinea.
Unlike his associate and alleged partner in crime, former Interior Minister Ousmane Sonko is not so cozy in Switzerland, where he sought asylum.
Ousmane Sonko is undergoing an investigation, a criminal investigation in Switzerland, where he has been detained since almost 9 months. So he's not in a 7-star hotel.
Political prisoner Dr. Amadou Scarlett Jammeh clearly understands the systematic process of illegal detentions, torture, and extrajudicial killings that shadowed Jammeh's 22-year rule. When he finally moved to take action, a simple imprint of democratic expressions on T-shirts will fetch him a death penalty.
I spent the entire rainy season getting wet at Bambadinka, even had athlete's foot, and all they did was to give me a sugar to say, you know, that cures it.
They call him dictator hunter. The prosecutor of many former tyrants, Reed Brody, believes if victim stories are allowed to flourish, Jammeh's prosecution will be soon and swiftly expedited. If that really happens, will it take as much years as it took to execute the prosecution of Hissan Habre?
Hopefully, I worked for 18 years with the victims of Hissan Habre. People thought that that was never going to happen. What we showed in that case was that if you put the stories of the victims in the center, if you talk about what happened to them and their struggle, that you can create the political conditions, as in the Habre case, even in Africa, to bring a former African president to court in Africa with the support of the African Union.
Victims and human rights defenders, stories of organized brutality and gross impunity, but that is just about to be resolved via due process as Reed Brody, local victims and activists begin the critical task to attain closure by bringing Jammeh and his accomplices to justice. Ibrahima Jatta, GRTS.